Hey, yo, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy Heisey. Got another deck profile for you guys. It's the Horus Therion deck that I've been working on, playing for quite some time now. Ever since they announced the field spell card. I tried playing this deck, or I thought about playing this deck before the field spell came out, and it was absolutely garbage. The deck, honestly, in my opinion, is still not that good, depending on what you want to run. But in my opinion, in general, it's just not that good. Especially since everyone is pretty much maining Droll now, and Ash isn't really a thing anymore. And Droll really hurts this deck, like really, really badly, in lots of ways. So, I mean, depending on the hand, at least, it hurts. But let's get into it real quick. Got the obvious Imseti Spaghetti. I saw him every single game, pretty much. This is literally the bread and butter. Before even going into locals, like literally the night before, I was playtesting with this deck, and it was just, I was bricking so bad. I contemplated not even playing it. And then my boy Cthulhu ended up convincing me to just do it. So I did, and luckily, I mean, very luckily, I did pretty well with it. I ended up going 3-0, undefeated, got second place just because of how the standings work or rankings work, however Konami wants to do it. That's just how it be. Like, it just comes down to opponents. Like, my last opponent, mind you, I was 2-0. And I ended up playing against the branded player, and his record, I think he was 1-1 at that point. And for some reason, we got matched up, and because of that, that kind of screwed me out of the first place, just because there was 3 people that were in first place. I think there was like 13 people in total, or 11 people for this locals. So we had a bye, and there was a 3-way tie at the moment for first place, and the 2 other people who were 2-0, they played against each other. I needed them to draw for me to get first place, basically. It's just luck. That's just what it comes down to. The amount of times I get second place is ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, I almost didn't play this deck just because I was just breaking really, really badly. But luckily that didn't really happen to me the entire time. So let's go to the next. Too Hoppy. Just because this card's amazing. Everyone sleeps on this card. I definitely recommend rocking 2 of them just in case something were to happen if he gets banished or whatever. At least you got another copy to rock with. But he's the best card. You can just bring everything that you're losing from either banish or graveyard and just add it back to your hand. You can keep going with follow-up depending on what you want to add. More hand traps that you've used previously, you can add them back. Called by is basically at, like, more than 3, because as long as something happens and it's in the graveyard or banish, and Hoppy can just grab it right back and you can play it again. Card's just super slept on. Another slept on card, in my opinion, is Schoolboy Q. I'm gonna keep him at 1, don't keep me wrong, but he's really, really good when he comes up. I mean, when it comes to, the battle phases, if something were to happen, and, I have a wall full of Horus monsters, and I did all their effects or whatever, and, like, they go into battle phase, and they definitely have game if they were to swing into everything, but because of him, they can't even declare an attack on any of my Horus monsters, so basically it's just a battle skip, which is pretty cool. And then also, with Fire Kings being in the meta right now, and a lot of their cards target, like Promethean Princess, this card just shuts that off because you can't target any of my Horus monsters, just the Horus monsters at least. So he's really good at the moment with the current meta that's going on right now. I definitely recommend playing him. And then the other 2 loves, Duamatef, always comes in clutch. Love drawing cards. And then Flame Dragon, just 1, honestly. I may pick up another, but I don't know. I think he's just fine at 1. It's not like you can really special summon him from the graveyard with the sarcophaguses. Like, he's kind of like a nib almost. I mean, which is good against the Fire King meta at the moment, just because you're sending everything to grave, but at the same time, it sends everything, your field included, which like kind of hurts Horus. I mean, depending on how you did your summons with King Sark or Canopic, like once you get him out, like you're kind of screwed. But depending on the timing, if you just time it right, you'll be fine. But he's really, really good. He's just another nib if they happen to remove a Horus monster or the King Sark spells or anything like that. So definitely pick him up. He's good, especially with this meta. Sending things to grave is really good. Now we're going to get into the Therion engine here. Play 3 Regulus, Omni negate, negates activation. Super simple. 3 Lily. That's all you really need. And then the other 2, just one of the other 2 level 8s, because I play a spell card that helps us with this. And I'll get into that in a minute. We're just going through the engine right now. For the engine spell cards, we got 3 Wall of the Imperial Tomb. It's the Horus Field spell. Fantastic, unless you get drolled. Most of the time, hopefully, you have Insetti in your hand already and you want to get Black Flame Deity. This is the way to do it. But droll's a thing. This really plays into it, and if you don't have King Sark in your hand already, it's kind of GG's from there. So it's a very droll heavy format. So that's why this deck is like an okay deck to play with. Again, you can always run the crossouts or something like that, or talents, but it's just there's a lot of things going on with the current meta right now that's just like kind of hurting this deck, and other decks as well that I want to play. RDA included. That's going to be a new video, by the way. RDA is just not a deck to play at the moment, and I will be making a video on why it's not a good idea to play that deck with the current meta. But we'll get into that in another video. 3 King Sark. You know what that does. That's the bread and butter, along with the field spell. These 3, I mean, you're basically playing 6 of. I mean, this is while it's on field, it does the exact same as this, except for you're not sending cards, but while it's on the field, you can at least special summon your Horus monsters onto the field still, even if this is gone. So that's really, really cool. That's the best part about this card right here, is that they're going to focus on this, but not focus on this, and forget about it, and then hopefully, you know, you're going to have follow-up next turn because you can still bring your Horus monsters back from the grave. So really, really good. Really good combo there. The other, honestly, I might even play this at 3, the Canopic Protector. I love this card. Nobody reads it. Everyone is baffled by it. It's funny as shit. Once per chain, you just summon another Horus monster from hand or graveyard and just build a wall, basically, which I love doing. Or even follow up for Xyz monsters on the next turn, whatever you want to do. I got a lot of fun stuff in this deck, too, that you might have seen when I was shuffling through my extra deck, but I never really got to play them just because it didn't really come up. And it's just really for the memes. It's not really like super good to go into because it's very stoppable. But this card's amazing. Definitely, you get at least 2 of these cards. One, now we're in the Therion spells. We just got 1 disco. That's all I really need. Not much to it. I'd rather play the Imperial Tomb over this. This is just to basically, depending on the hand, you know, grab another Therion monster, send Therion monster or cards, I believe, to the graveyard instead of you know, something being destroyed. So that's pretty cool. So in case you have a Therion monster in hand, you got nothing in graveyard, you got some follow up. Super nice. 2 of the Endless Engine. Same thing, if you happen to have Therion monsters in your hand and nothing in your graveyard to special summon them out, this kind of helps you out, because it just dumps another Therion card into the graveyard and itself, and then next turn you can actually target this card and another Therion card and pick one to add to your hand, which is pretty cool. So that kind of helps the deck as well. 2 Therion charge. That's why I run all the level 8s as well. I mean, not that it has anything to do with it, but it's just a draw 2 to help, you know, get the thing going, get the game going, at least depending on how many Therion cards you have in your hand, because there's plenty of times when testing where I had all the Therion monsters in my hand and nothing in the graveyard, and I couldn't do anything. That's what sucks about this deck sometimes, is that you're going to run into that. Sometimes. It's rare. You didn't see it in the videos, but it happened a lot to me when I was testing. Just saying. I got very lucky that day. Here's why I play all the level 8s. Trade in. This card's awesome. Not once per turn. So if you draw into another one, another level 8, you're fine. You're just going to draw 2 more cards. This is basically Pot of Greed. Which is really nice. And then along with the combo of this, it's amazing. You're potentially going to be drawing 10 cards, which is pretty cool if you happen to get that kind of hand and you don't get drolled. It's funny. But this helps, again, this just helps unbrick the deck a little bit, because, again, this shit is so bricky. To help with that, I got 2 small worlds. I played 2 small worlds, and you'll see why. Basically, the hand traps that I play, all of them with small world, I'm able to bridge into Imseti and then hopefully go into there. Again, plays into Droll, which is why it's a very iffy deck to play in this format right now, with Droll being made. 1 terraforming to get the field spells, depending on what I want in the hand, obviously. 1 called by, because, you know, Fire Kings, Promethean Princess, all that good stuff, Flamebridge. It's super fun. I'm gonna get into the hand traps. I only play just 6 hand traps, and it's a 3 of each, and all of them, or each of them, both of them, go into Imseti. I got the 3 bells and the 3 drill. That's it. This I would change maybe into like DD Crow. I'd rather DD Crow than this, honestly. DD Crow would have came up a lot more if I had it. This, I think I only resolved it once out of like all the matches. So, I mean, it's an okay card, but I would say DD Crow over that. And DD Crow also, Small World bridges into Imseti as well. So, it's another helper. Almost all the hand traps, honestly, bridge into Imseti. So, it helps, but once again, Droll. That shit suck. What am I going to do here? The extra deck. Let's get the extra deck here. Some of them are in not the same sleeves, so forgive me. And I'm too lazy to fix them, but I was like really rushing. Because again, I played this deck like last minute. I decided to play it very last minute, and I like rushed to locals and started like sleeving right there and then, and I was like a couple minutes late into the match, so because of that. But so yeah, you're gonna see some funky little sleeves on here, but no particular order. There's no like Horus monster or Xyz monster in general. So obviously the One Little Knight, amazing card right now. Goddess in the Overworld comes up a lot because now Raid Raptor is becoming a thing, and that tower is annoying, and other things as well. So this is really good to play in the deck for those really annoying cards, like Flamebridge especially, or any of those other pieces of shits. Apo, very easy to get into as well. Not much to talk about there. This card, it helps with targeting. That's about it. Negates a target, but doesn't really come out too much, just because like I feel like most of the time it's just like it's better to just leave the Horus monsters on the field and just make a wall and then like go from there and let them remove something so you can do something from there. But it's okay. It comes up sometimes. QC or Ding, because sending to grave is really fun, and also like, you know, protecting from destruction is really nice as well. That's cool. Garunix, the new Garunix, because they're all level 8s, why not? And free destruction on, you know, both sides of the field is pretty nice as well, depending on the matchup. Fire Kings, obviously, they want that shit, so don't do that. One gigantic champion Sargus, just to help with follow-up. doesn't really do too much, honestly. There's better ones. Yeah, I didn't even play him once. Typhon, great card. Didn't really need him. And then I'll just show all these just as a package because they're more of like a package deal. I play the Numeron Dragon along with the number 97 just to get everything going like that. It's pretty easy. I mean, there's been times where like I had like a 30k monster on field and swung for game. It doesn't really come up too much, and like it's very dangerous because imperm is still a thing, and so is effect failure. So and those things are very prominent at this moment in the meta. So you got to be careful of that. It's just for the memes, honestly. Like if you know they got nothing, this is fun to go into. Just hit them for 30,000 or something like that. It's really fun. Also QCR Numeron. It's really nice. Good pulls. I got the Buzz King Go Burr. It's really nice. It's like a unicorn on crack. The fact that you can on summon, look at your opponent's extra deck, choose one monster, send it to the graveyard. Obviously pick the right ones that can't be used with like Monster Reborn or something like that, because then you'll have a bad time. And then in the standby phase, you get to grab a card from your opponent's graveyard, add it as material. And then the standby phase, your standby phase, you can target a monster on your opponent's side of the field, destroy it, and then if it's face up, you get to burn it for half that damage. So that's pretty cool. Cool for time too. Hope. Lots of spell cards need to be negated. It's pretty cool. Lancelot. Lancelot is pretty cool too, especially for time. And to, just destroy things. It does target though, once you hit some, but that Omni Negate, or not Omni Negate, mandatory negate can really screw you. So make sure you time your chains right. Be careful, or else you'll do what I did. And then Coach. Coach, I'm honestly thinking about dropping. He comes up sometimes. Like, it's great to like draw those 3 cards. The only time I'm really doing that is because I already have Canopic in hand, and I just want follow up for the next one. Or if I don't have Canopic and I'm like really like desperate for it. But this card has hurt me a lot more than it's helped me sometimes. And I'm thinking about cutting it, honestly. I don't know what to. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Maybe Dark I'll go into. Dark Charmer. Maybe that would probably be more beneficial for me, or even IP. But this card, I don't know. I'm thinking about cutting it just because, like I said, sometimes it hurts more than it does anything. I'll end up with just him on the field and no Canopic. And I have my Horus monsters in the graveyard. I don't want to special summon another one because then I get nibbed and then I'm really screwed. There's just no point. I'm considering cutting that, honestly. It's dangerous. Side deck. 3 Ash, because you have to. Because of this meta right now with Fire Kings, you don't want to play these because they go into Hida and you just gave them basically a free, anything really. Promethean, SP Little Knight, lots of things. They could just go into Appaloosa. There's so many things that you just help them, basically. You just give them an extra link material, basically. So don't main this, especially if you're playing against Fire King. You're just not going to have a good time. Back row removal. Heavy back row removal. And I'm probably going to change this. Some of these, you know your boy loves MST. Okay? I really do. And I'm still going to play him, don't get me wrong. But my whole philosophy is that, I don't like to burn myself to remove something. So why do that when you have MSTs? And I get, like, there's a lot of graveyard stuff, but most of the time, like, it doesn't matter. But I would recommend, for sure, like, maybe citing these 2 out and going with a Cosmic Cyclone instead, just because, again, this meta, guys, it's not fun with the Fire King, using this, if they have Sanctuary especially, they're just going to protect their Fire King Island. And then unless you have more than one, that's cool. But Cyclone's just way better because they can't protect it. It's getting banished, and yeah, it just can't get protected because of that. So I'm considering about dropping these and picking up 2 Cyclones instead. But I don't know. I'm still teeter-tottering just because I hate paying life points, and a lot of my games end up going at time. So that shit sucks. Artifact Lancia. This came up. Great card. I love this card. I still stand by this card. It's a very niche card, but it's been coming in clutch, especially like when I play Fire King or any other cards where I know they're citing in Droll for the next turn, or even D-Shifter. This is great, and especially with D-Shifter, I think that card is going to be becoming more and more of a problem, just because, again, I'm going to repeat myself a lot here with the whole Fire King thing, but because of that, D-Shifter is the absolute best card to side at the moment against Fire Kings, because it just destroys it. And because of that fact, I feel like a lot more people are going to be running D-Shifter, and that's why I'm going to be citing these in a lot more, just because all the decks that I play, like, they need, at the moment at least, I need my graveyard. So definitely I would recommend that. They come in, and then of course evenly, just to get rid of that board. But yeah, that's my deck. That's about it. I mean, again, I was very surprised that I didn't brick. I think I got very, very lucky, and that's the only reason why I did as well as I did. But when this, don't get me wrong, when this deck works, I mean, you guys saw it. It's nasty. You know, it gets a lot of things going. There's a lot of interruptions. That makes your opponent think, because there's so many targets that you want to remove from the field that'll help you. But at the same time, if those Horus monsters are on field, like, it's gonna be a mistake. So I like playing decks like that, where it's just like you're almost kind of like stuck. You know, it's almost like a floodgate, but not at the same time, because, you know, you're still able to play, but you're going to be thinking on every single move. You know, if you try to remove something from my side of the field, and that's why I like this. But in my opinion, and a lot of people, you guys have been asking, what would I choose between Therion Horus or Runic Horus? For consistency wise, because this deck is very inconsistent. I don't care that I went 3-0 and I didn't brick once. It's still bricky compared to the Runic. With Runic, there's a lot of follow-up. Droll doesn't hurt too much. Mixed in, depending on the hand, again, it doesn't hurt too much with the combination of Runic Horus, but this deck, it does, especially when they're maining it at the moment, and not many people are maining Ash anymore. I would recommend playing the Runic variant, honestly. It's much better for you. But other than that, that's all I really got for you. Again, keep an eye out for another video talking about RDA, as I have a discussion I want to make with you guys when it comes to RDA. I love the deck. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to be playing it. Still going to be playing it, especially when the new card comes out. But at the moment, it's just that deck is just not a good idea. It's not a good idea to play at the moment. I'm not going to give you any more details on that. I'll give it in the video. But other than that, guys, that's all I really got for you today. Hope you have a good one. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.